change. So Chicago, as you see it here, see it in Japan, see it in China, sort of thing, it is the same format right the way through.
Good. Now, I imagine some people might want to know, what do all the staff and the crew get up to normally after a show? What would you go to the pub or anything like that, or do you hang out, or do you separate?
With this tour, I mean, it's actually been sort of quite relaxed, quite sort of chilled out, really, because there's a lot of people that are in relationships before they start on the tour, so they go home, sort of use the internet, use the phone, bits and pieces. So, whereas on Cats, we were sort of a little bit more flamboyant. It was a lot of late nights and going through, but you were a little bit more settled because of the fact you were in a venue for longer, so you were there 2-3 weeks, so you actually you used the weekends, you went out, sort of had a nose around the town, did the bits, but like I said, it's sort of settled down a little bit more in Chicago. We're a little bit more, we're not quite so much the rock and roll lifestyle this time.
I imagine you showed them the basic of all the club scene, because working in clubs and all the rest of it, you probably showed them the best and worst of the clubs.
Yeah, I was sort of like a little bit of the bad boy on Cats, because I did introduce most of the cast at the casino. So it wasn't looked on particularly.
So they're all skint now.
Yeah, but we had a few good days.
I love it. Obviously you've discussed that you've had some famous people on. Are there any changes in the next 6 months or so?
Well, we actually had. I mean, recently we had Jimmy Osmond, who was in. I mean, he'd basically been over doing some bits and pieces in the UK. He was doing Grease in London as well, in the West End. But obviously, that Grease is basically produced by the same company that I work for now. So he was doing that, and then basically he came on board at the start of this tour. Yeah. And Jimmy was very, very genuinely lovely, sort of thing. So I know that lovely is a real theatrical word, but yes. But no, it's a really, really nice chap. You never quite know when you sort of see people and how they portray themselves, sort of in the newspapers and on the TV. But no, very, very good bloke to have a chat with.
I saw him on the TV the other day, and he says he's teetotal.
Yes.
He is teetotal. Yes. So is that right? Did he not go out to the pub, or if he did?
He would basically, I mean, it actually shocked. There was one night where we had a couple of birthdays, and Jimmy actually came out and joined us in a pub. And with Jimmy, you always get very much an entourage with him. There's a lot of fans. There's people that sort of came to see him in Chicago, but there were people that came to see him because he is Jimmy Osmond. And you'd always sort of have people lingering around, and they do the autographs and things like that, and he'd always be the first one to go out. I mean, he's raised fortunes for charity and things like that, but he would be the first one to sort of be there and basically sign off and sign the autographs. Yeah. And these people were absolutely shocked to see him walking into a pub, because basically the function was in the pub. Yeah. But yeah, no, he will literally just sort of come in, make an appearance, say hello, sort of have something to eat, have a soft drink, and then he'll go again then. Yeah. So.
Did you find that most of the staff will be quite friendly towards people out if they're out and about, or is it a case of like, we've done the show, we just want to relax?
No, they're normally good as gold. I mean, the thing is, we are basically the West End version on tour, so it's a case of you have a responsibility to the public, really, to be nice. Yes. And it is part of the role and what you're sort of there for. You're not just there to perform on the show for sort of 2 hours and then basically sort of go outside and blank everyone at the door. Yes. It is part of the commitment that you actually make to the show in the first place, and at the end of the day, without the fans and without the customers and without the support of people coming along and buying the tickets, there wouldn't be the show.
Yes, yeah. So you're back. You're going back. You're off for a week. So you're back on Monday. Yeah. And the UK tour of Chicago will be at Manchester, the Palace Theatre, and basically, if you want to buy tickets, the best thing is to go onto the Chicago website. Yeah,
there's a website basically you can go onto, and that's either that or the theatre site itself. Yeah. And obviously, we don't deal primarily with anything to do with the tickets. It will be the theatre themselves. So. If anyone's in Manchester, pop in and see us. Yeah, or you can get hold of them via the website. It's the www.palaceandoperahouse, which is all one word, .org.uk, and the performances are Monday to Thursday evenings from 7:30, and Friday and Saturdays there's 2 shows. There's one at 5 and one at 8:30. Yeah. Yeah, so you've got plenty of opportunity to go up and see them at Manchester. Like I said, or log on to the Chicago website and have a look. It's definitely worth seeing. We saw it in London, didn't we, a couple of years ago? Yes, we did, yeah. I think that was when it was still the Adelphi.
Yes, yeah, very, very good show. Are there any other shows you'd like to work on before moving on maybe to another job?
There's a few bits and pieces sort of floating around at the moment, but we'll see. There's nothing. I think with theatre, you just sort of you've got to be in the right place at the right time, very much so, and it depends on who you know. A little bit, so we'll see. So
your plans for the future is anyone's guess?
It's as the rest of my past has been. It could just suddenly change overnight, so you never know.
Good. Well, Steve, thank you ever so much for joining us here this afternoon.